Why did you create Zealous?
Oh, it's quite a complicated question because it didn't start with me wanting to simplify awards. It started from a need that the creative community was facing. So I had a lot of friends within the arts and film and music, and I wanted to try and help them collaborate with each other because I saw these teams come together. And I created the first version of Zealous to try and do just that. And it didn't work. We managed to get about 1,000 people on the platform. And then at the end of it, they went, well, we need other things. We need opportunities and ways of growing our craft and getting better at what we do, and space and institutions and exhibitions and all sorts. So I had to take the problem and reverse it and go, well, how can I create opportunities for these artists? And it turns out that opportunities in the creative sector are mostly through awards, competitions, residencies. So trying to make that simpler and make that process as efficient as possible was a good way of creating opportunities for the creators.
So are the creators the audience who are benefiting the most from Zealous, or are there kind of other segments of the sector that are also benefiting from Zealous?
I think indirectly they are. Directly, we are making the process as simple as possible for the institutions. So we're trying to save them time and resources and energy in creating competitions and awards, because then we believe that they'll be able to reinvest that into doing more, which indirectly helps the creators.
Of course. I just wanted to ask you actually, what do you think are the biggest challenges that the creative industry is facing today at this moment?
It's a really hard question. There is a lot happening at the moment. Obviously, the news is really focusing around the economy and inflation, and people are very sensitive to their budgets. So making sure that we're still able to have the same degree of impact in the programs that we run, but cut our costs, is probably at the forefront of people's minds, especially institutions that run these awards. And this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to save them the time that they would, and also provide them with flexible pricing so they can continue doing the good work that they're doing. But at the same time, they don't sort of lose that quality that they're used to.
Mm. How can Zealous help a company grow their audience?
Depend on the company, really. There is ways of creating public votes and bringing the audience that you serve in the community that you serve to have an input into what you're doing as an organization. So let's say you had an open competition, you could get lots of input from your community. You can also open the doors to your space in ways that you've never thought of. So you could create a competition to have your art alongside one of the greats. You could also have an award or a grant that you'd never done before, which would allow you to gain access to creators that might have not thought that you were serving them. And it's really horses for courses. That's why it's so hard. It would be based on you, but we're happy to advise you based on your needs, and that's what's important.
That sounds great. And how can Zealous help users to grow the impact of their competition?
Really, it's back to the resources. So by removing the administrative tasks, by allowing you to save your resources and allowing you to reinvest it, you can then grow your impact. So removing those spreadsheets and that chaos around emailing, and really allowing you to focus on the application, what people have done. I mean, when someone applies to something, it's their hopes and dreams to be selected. You should have your full attention on that and much less on the process. So just give us the process and we'll simplify it as much as possible.
Mm. And the great thing about Zealous is that we're regularly updating and adding new features. Why do you feel that that's really important?
The world is changing all the time, and we perpetually get feedback from our clients, and we want to make the product as good as possible. So this kind of agile methodology of building allows our clients to have their input integrated into our product, but it also allows us to stay in touch with technology, which is speeding up so quickly. So being at the forefront of all of that, we need to deploy new versions on a weekly, if not daily basis. Sometimes it feels like it, although don't stress my team out too much. We don't do that quite yet.
There's a lot to keep up with, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, yeah.
And Zealous has also been praised for its flexible approach to pricing. Could you tell me a little bit more about that?
Pricing was a challenge because we serve very different types of organizations. It can go from an individual who has an idea for a competition and whose budgets are a little bit more frugal. And then we also have the larger institutions, big brands who would use us to do an award. So we needed to find a flexible pricing that would allow and empower those who were starting on their journey to create competitions and curate content, but also allow the larger institutions to pay us in a way that would allow us to subsidize our service for others. So the way that we have structured our pricing is we grow the pricing as you grow your success. And we also allow you to have a monthly package instead of locking you into an annual package, which can be very expensive. So it gives you that flexibility to try something out and to experiment like we do with the product and bring new things to life. We want you to have that flexibility to try things out.
You've had a lot of feedback from organisations also focusing on how much time Zealous has saved them. How has Zealous been able to do this?
Different organizations have different needs, but really it's all around the automation. So the ability for you to have a schedule and to say when your submissions open and close automatically. Zealous will send out emails reminding people to finish a draft submission, remind the judges to start scoring entries. Really, once that's set up, then really you can really focus around the submissions, the applications, and less on the kind of day-to-day duties. And then we also allow you to export all of that, and you have access to it in whichever way you want.
And how does Zealous help improve the process of judging?
Judging is interesting because judging 20 years ago, everyone would have been in the same room and they would have all looked at the same work. But the world has changed, and I think a lot of people appreciate the flexibility of working wherever they are. So first of all, being able to access those entries anywhere in the world is very important. COVID proved to us that people like working from home, and we have that flexibility now. It also stops people from faffing around with lots of paperwork. So before they'd get big like boxes of paperwork, not good for the environment either, all that paper. So just having a login, you go in, it shows you all the entries that you have to look at. It gives you a very easy, quick, beautiful way of scoring entries. Removing all of the process, again, letting you focus on the content is what we do for the judges.
Talking about content, you spend a lot of time creating a visually appealing interface for Zealous. Why do you think that this is so important?
If you don't like looking at what you're using, then you're not going to use it. We want the process to be fun, to be appealing. The works that people submit are incredible on Zealous. So we want to be able to present them in a way that does them justice, and that also allows the judges and the administrators to feel like they're enjoying the process. And visually, that's very important. We don't want just these old style 1990s forms, and we've built everything from scratch, and we get a lot of positive feedback from that. So that's great.
What are some common mistakes people can make when choosing submission software?
How everything works together, I think, is probably the biggest one. So it's tempting to try and bolt things on or try and bring things from one process to the other. And wherever these bolts are is where you waste the most time. So bring one thing into, so taking your submissions on a form and then thinking you'd be judging on a different platform and then maybe taking payments on a different platform. Every time you create that jump, you're wasting a huge amount of time. Actually having everything in one place and structured where you can do your refunds in Zealous. You can get your payments in Zealous. You can do your judging on Zealous. Just that seamless flow is what saves you time. And that's what we've been trying to achieve.
Right. If someone wanted to try Zealous for free or book in a demo, how would they do that?
We have a demo button on the website. If you go to zealous.co/about, there'll be a demo there, and then you've got a choice of how you want to experience the demo. So you could watch a video, you could get in touch with one of our amazing guys who could give you one, or you'd be able to experience it directly on the platform. So we generate one, and then it gives you a little tour. It's very much down to you. Or just give us a call or email us. It's all on the website, and we make it as easy and transparent as possible.
Zealous receives a lot of praise for its robust live support features. Why is this so important?
Technology is one thing, but we are human, and we always want to have a human connection, and we will try our best to make the process as simple as possible. But the reality of things is we are all so different. There's a diversity of people who use us from all ages, from all backgrounds, and we need to be able to catch the people we don't serve or that need that additional support. So we have a live chat feature, and we have incredible agents that take care of that.
What is your number one piece of advice for anyone looking to organise an online contest?
Plan in advance. Every minute that you invest in advance will save you 10 later. So make sure that you go to the drawing board. We have something called the Absolute Guide to Managing Submissions, which is on the blog. Have a look at that. It really allows you to think about all the things in advance so that you look at them, you plan them in advance, and then once it's running, and then you can really just focus on the running of it and the marketing of it, as opposed to things going potentially wrong because you're thinking of problems in retrospect.
What do you think that the future of contest management looks like?
You've got some hard questions. I think when we allow people, not just institutions, to be able to create opportunities and competitions. So at the moment, a lot of people feel like it's outside the scope of their abilities to be able to run an award or to run a competition, but democratizing that and allowing you, for example, to go out there and create a competition and get a couple of hundred submissions and feature people and celebrate them, I think is the future. But also just more of it, I guess, from all sides. Corporates should be able to run them more simply, and I guess individuals should have access to that kind of to the same tools.
For sure. Is there anything you'd like to say to the creative community before we sign off?
I mean, from personal experience, continue creating, continue going out there, continue submitting to opportunities. I know it can feel sometimes like it's a little bit, you can go down, you can feel a bit down if you don't get selected for things, but you have to continue going for it and improving your craft and getting feedback. It is the best way for you to eventually get featured and get people to see your work and enjoy it. I've been there, I'm still there, I'm still submitting to stuff and not always getting there, but I'm not going to give up.
100%, that's great advice. Thank you so much for joining me, Guy, and thank you to anyone who made it to the end of this video. We do regular interviews with members of the creative industry over on our Instagram channel, so please make sure you give us a follow there at zealous_co. Take care, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Carmela. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, Guy.